And when you're kicking an extra point or field goal, that is the bottom line. I was a holder for 16 of my 17 years. I understood how quick the ball had to come off the kicker's foot in about 1.3 seconds. I understood how the offensive line had to squeeze down to the inside. If there was going to be leakage, it was going to have to be to the outside. It was clear there was penetration from the interior of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line protecting for the field goal.
Thud, thud, and now
not a good sound.
I'm guessing stone cold silence for Vanderjagt in the Cowboy locker room after throwing those guys under the bus after the game. As for Parcells,
it shouldn't have come to the field goal, though. It should not have come down.
Well, let's get to that. Parcells
Okay.
mentioned it a moment ago. 6-5 game. The Cowboys score a touchdown to go up a point. And early in the second quarter, Parcells decides to go for 2. He said it didn't decide the game. And there's really no way of knowing because so much football is played between then at the time of the block kick. But what about the decision?
But it was intriguing to me that Coach Parcells decided to go for 2 at that point. You know, every coach in the National Football League, at the collegiate level, at the high school level, probably even the Little League level, they got that sheet in their hand. And it says when to go for 2. You don't pull that sheet out in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. Usually you wait till about 5 minutes to go in the ball game. In the beginning of the game, you take the point every single time you get the opportunity, no matter what the score is. You worry about going to the sheet late in the game. I think Coach Parcells went to it too early.
If I'm a coach, I don't even have the sheet until the fourth quarter. I'm not letting anybody give me until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and also have it laminated, by the way. Rich, it's a Philadelphia story. Rich Kotite had it, you know, it was wet one time. I couldn't read it. So
it's a problem if you can't read the sheet. That's a whole other issue. Bottom line, Cowboys are now just 1-3 in the NFC East. The Rifle will be back with us momentarily, Michelle.
All right, guys. Giants going for their 5th straight win. Texans trying to end an 11-game road losing streak. Third quarter, 7-3 Giants. Second and goal, David Carr doesn't have anything or anybody to pass to, so keeps it himself. Great play by Carr. Just a week after he got benched. 2-yard touchdown. The Texans take a 10-7 lead in the 4th. Giants trailing. And the play action here fools everybody. Eli Manning to Jeremy Shockey, who had a season-best 8 catches for 66 yards, and none bigger than that catch there. Caps a 67-yard drive, and the Giants win their 5th straight. Tiki Barber had 115 yards on the ground and his first touchdown of the season, his 4th 100-yard game in his last 5 games. The Texans, meanwhile, lose their 12th straight on the road. Titans and Jags, David Garrard making his 2nd straight start against Vince Young. Third quarter, 3rd and 6. Young intended for Reggie Williams, but Scott Starks with the pick takes it back 55 yards. Young's 3rd interception of the day. And the Jaguars beat up on the Titans 37-7. Jags have won 6 straight at home dating to last season. They've won 2 straight with David Garrard at quarterback. And he had 3 TD passes, improves to 6-1 as a starter over the last 2 seasons, which should make for an interesting week for Jack Del Rio, who needs to decide who will start next week. Garrard says he'll just wait until Jack Byron or his wife tells him he's starting. He learned he was starting last week from his wife and this week from Leftwich, so maybe it'll be from Coach next week.
You think Adam Vinatieri's just a little fired up about his return to Foxborough tonight? He arrived an hour before his Indy teammates. A look ahead at the Colts-Patriots primetime showdown coming up.
Monday at 3, it's a special edition of SportsCenter. Then Around the Horn, followed by Pardon the Interruption. After that, NFL Primetime, followed by Monday Night Countdown. Then Randy Moss and the Raiders face the Seahawks on ESPN Monday Night Football. Is it Monday yet?
It's not about wedding cake. It's not about 1 foot in. It's not about what's on the outside. Up here, it's about what's on the inside. It's about your heart slowing down.
It's about riding that line between good and idiot.
Because the truth is,
It ain't a hobby.
rated everyone 10 and up.
I'm Dallin Hart Jr. Welcome to Wrangler Jeans Company, a new generation of Wrangler.
New fits, new comfort, new styles. Wrangler Jeans Company, a new generation of Wrangler. New fits, new comfort, new style.
Spicy Jack! You think you can take on the Inferno?
You are nothing but a little shrimp.
Oh, you bite back.
Can you take on Friday's new Spicy Jack Daniels Grill? Get your favorite Jack Daniels Grill entrees now with a spicy kick.
Introducing Gillette Fusion. On the front, 5 blades, and on the back, the first ever precision trimmer, perfect for under the nose, straightening sideburns, and around facial hair. The best shave ever in manual and battery power. Gillette Fusion.
Bond.
Have I ever let you down?
Reloaded, remastered, and looking better than ever.
I think you got the point.
The all-new James Bond Ultimate Edition DVD, Tuesday.
Like me and you, so let the voice of freedom sing out through this land. This is our country.
This is our truck, the all-new Chevy Silverado.
Football fans have become too reliant on one sign. So what'd we come up with?
Luck. Sure, left. I propose you use nickel when you need 5 defensive backs, or dime when you need 6.
But I think it's about time we show a little love to offense. Offense!
Let's issue a continuance on the defense and give the offense a tryout this season.
For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite.
With Adam Vinatieri's return to New England, we got to thinking about other stud athletes who left Boston and made their first return. Roger Clemens coming back as a Toronto Blue Jay. If he had gone straight to the Yankees, he never would have gotten any cheers. Came back to mixed reviews in '97. May 2006, Johnny Damon returning to Fenway after signing with the Yankees. That's a class act by Boston fans. He did receive quite a few cheers. June 2006, Pedro Martinez returning to Fenway 2 years after spending 7 years with the Sox. Got a very warm welcome and a standing ovation from Sox owner John Henry. In 2001, Ray Bork returned to Boston. I doubt there was one single boo, showing off that Stanley Cup that he won with Colorado. Played for the Bruins for just over 20 seasons. So after countless clutch kicks for the Patriots, Adam Vinatieri back in Foxborough as the enemy. Mr. Good Guy Pats QB Tom Brady says Vinatieri looks ugly in a Colts uniform. For more on tonight's game, here's our countdown crew.
All right, thank you very much. So you have heard that the Colts are playing the Patriots in football. The Colts' second straight week are an underdog at Denver. They won that. Peyton Manning's heroics last week. Now an underdog at the New England Patriots, where until last year, we all know the history that they have come a cropper. To the Patriots, keys to the game, the Patriots do the 2006 offense in which they run. Until last week, when they decided to pass, Minnesota never adjusted which offense the Patriots go out with. I think that might befuddle the Colts. They're not sure what to expect.
Well, the whole key to the game is their balance. They're going to do something. They're going to do something different. And they're going to be effective with whatever they do. Now, if they decide to run the ball, that's what they should do because they're running against the worst run defense in football.
The key to the game is, can you get pressure on Peyton Manning with just your front 3 and drop 8 in the coverage? Because let me tell you something. If you are forced to blitz Peyton and leave those corners you have out there one-on-one with those wide receivers, ooh, you're going to be in trouble.
I think the key offensively for the Colts is how you adjust to what the Patriots are going to do on the defensive side of the ball. They are going to come out with some new wrinkle. It might be 2-man rush. It might be 3-man rush. Whatever it is, they have planned that for the entire game, and you've got to do something, make an adjustment, and start taking advantage of it early. You can't give them the early lead and then feel like you're pressed to make things happen.
Bill Belichick has a blueprint on defense of how to slow down Peyton Manning because you could never stop him. As I've studied the tapes through the years of how Belichick likes to play Manning, it's in coverage. Rush 3, maybe 4. Drop 7 or 8 in coverage. Squeeze those windows down. Give them tight windows to throw in. Now, if you're dropping all those defenders into coverage, that means the running game must come to the party. I think Joseph Adai must have a big game on those 3 running plays that the Colts execute.
Well, Adai is coming on. The 2 excellent rookie running backs in this Maroney and Adai. They may hold part of the keys, but obviously the quarterbacks, Manning and Brady, let's start with them. All right, so we got to pick the game. Who is it? Moment of truth, Coach.
Well, I got to take the Pats, guys. I think they're a better balanced football team.
Yeah, I'm taking the pass, too, because that young Lawrence Maroney will run his boat down the stream. Yeah, okay.
You know, I'm going to take the Colts. I don't think they're in fear of the New England Patriots, and I think the difference is going to be Adam Vinatieri, which will be quite a story in New England if he wins the football.
And I think it's such a big game for the Colts. You know, they're winning, they're undefeated, not playing good football, and they've got to get some unity in that locker room. A win will go a long way in bringing that defense closer to the offense.
Hey, we give the Colts the nod. They're 7-0 again. I mean, just to go undefeated through a whole couple of months of football. 2 offenses for New England, the 05 and the 06, 1 offense for the Colts. So that means 1 more point. New England 24, Colts 23 in a fabulous game. But that's why they play the games. Back to you.
All right, guys, well, Manning won the last meeting, but it is Brady who has had the edge over the years. Brady has won 6 of the 7 battles, including a pair in the AFC playoffs. And Brady's numbers are better across the board, except in passing yards, but he is usually ahead. For more on the hype for tonight's game, here's Wendy Nix.
The Patriots and Colts spent much of this week downplaying the hype surrounding tonight's game. But privately, both teams did admit this game would be a good measuring stick. It features 2 of the league's marquee quarterbacks, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And it could go a long way in deciding home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. But it also marks the return of Adam Vinatieri. The former Patriots place kicker was the first Colts player to arrive at the stadium around 4:30 Eastern, a full hour before the first Colts bus. When I asked Adam what it felt like to be back, he said it feels weird, but honestly, I'm ready to play after a week of rehashing the past. In Foxborough, Wendy Nix, ESPN.
Last year was the first time Peyton Manning and the Colts beat Bill Belichick in New England, but Indy's offense has been steadily improving at Foxborough. Colts scoring at New England has seen an increase in recent years, highlighted by the 40 points last season.
As for games already in the books, show me the Chiefs and the Rams. That's the Governor's Cup, coveted Governor's Cup there in Missouri. And that is
another trophy they want.
That's Larry Johnson, also coveted. Rams beat up by LaDainian Tomlinson last week. Johnson burned him for 172 yards in that touchdown this week. Chiefs up 24-17. Damon Heward, who's been very good in Trent Green's stead. It's Chris Wilson there. Chiefs go up by 14, win it by that same score. Get this, going back to 95, the Kansas City Chiefs are 21-5 in interconference games. That's best in the NFL. They have won 5 of 6. Tony Gonzalez collects a couple of touchdown passes and became the Chiefs' all-time leader in yards from scrimmage. All right, the Super Bowl champs in a bad way and playing a very good Denver Bronco team. Third quarter, Broncos up 14-10. They were up 14-0 in this game. Steelers kept fighting back. Javon Walker takes the end around. This is right out of halftime. Slips a tackle, 72 yards, and he will find the paint. 3 touchdowns on the day. Broncos go up 21-10. Same score. Steelers with the ball. 3rd and 19. Ben Roethlisberger threw it a ton. 54 attempts. Not all of them went his way. That's picked up by Champ Bailey. That's his 2nd interception of the day. Bailey had both of them. Steelers trail at 31-20, 1st and 20. Hines Ward with the catch. Hit before he's in the end zone. Fumbled. Broncos get it back. That was a theme in this game. 6 turnovers for the Steelers, who fall to 2-6 on the season. That is the worst 8-game start ever by a Super Bowl champ.
We can only control what's ahead of us. You can't control what took place. And that's the truth. And I know one thing. I'm not going to sit here and dwell in self-pity, and no one else is going to either. And the answer we got to do is just come out and we got to win a football game. We got to start playing better football. And that's the bottom line. And, you know, I'm not worrying about anything more than doing that. And hopefully we'll be able to do that next Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Well, Bill Cowher is a smart guy. He understands as well as anybody in football that you can't turn the ball over 6 times and win games against good teams. Bigger picture, what's the problem for the Steelers?
Well, they're in trouble. Obviously at 2-6 there, and they've dug a big hole for themselves, particularly with the Ravens now at 6-2. They're 4 games behind. They had over 500 yards in offense, the Steelers did. You cannot turn the football over. One thing I did notice, I think we all expected the Steelers to come out and go back to their foundation, the power running game. They went just the opposite. I think they saw something in that Denver defense that was exposed last week by the Indianapolis Colts. They came out with the pass. They were effective with the pass. If Ben did not turn the football over, they probably would have won a football game.
Well, you know, Ben Roethlisberger has had a very, very difficult 10 months since the Super Bowl, obviously, and everyone knows what has happened to him since that time. But 2 interceptions or more in 5 of his 7 starts this season. How much responsibility, how much blame lies with the quarterback here?
Well, it always does. You know, the quarterback has the ball in his hand on every single play, and Ben is a stand-up guy, and he will assume that responsibility. But I think Ken Wisenhunt, the offensive coordinator, is going to have to go back and really investigate what this team can do offensively and when they are at their best. I think historically, you look at it, when Ben was throwing the ball 20 to 25 times, when they were running the ball effectively, is when they were most consistent on offense. And that's the key. Be consistent week in and week out and that side of the football, and play to their defense, which again is pretty darn good.
Yeah, Steeler football, power running game, and without Jerome Bettis, a little of that is gone. You play to the defense, you run the ball, you don't throw it 54 times.
Yeah, and it's easy for me to say that when I have access to the results, but clearly I think they need to change some of the things that they're doing right now. I mean, it's a big hole they're in. But you never know. You never know. They got a run going last year.
Jaws, as you well know, everything is easier when you're sitting here with a tie on.
I like that.
Talking
Thank you.
about
Yeah, that's right.
Great stuff as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the chase for the Nextel Cup, Terry Labonte's final race, pushing the vintage car.
Dad, for the last time, start your engine.
Terry Labonte's daughter, Kristen Labonte, getting it started. That's Matt Kenseth, points leader, starting 36th. Rained early in the morning. They'd take a field caution on lap 40. Race leader Kurt Busch in the pits. Crew was a loose lug nut. Go back and tighten it up. Cost him some time. Takes 20.8 seconds. That's an eternity in NASCAR. And out of the caution, Tony Stewart takes the lead. Tony Stewart is wreaking havoc in this chase despite the fact he can't win. Jeff Burton right in the thick of it, but damage after blowing a tire into the garage. He lost control into the wall, and he was done. Lap 116, Jimmy Johnson passes Dale Earnhardt Jr., takes a 63-point lead in the race for the championship.
Okay.
Lap 165. Whoa, he's right. Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets loose into the wall. Touches the car of Clint Boyer. No damage to Boyer's car. Earnhardt able to stay on the lead lap, but drops to 34th. Lap 173, Ken Schrader blows a tire. He's into the wall. Crash sent Mark Martin and Sterling Marlin into the grass, so it's snakes on a plane. More importantly, Matt Kenseth somehow gets through the mess without wrecking. On to lap 180. Robbie Gordon spins out. Into the wall he'll go. Watch Kenseth, leading a charmed life, somehow gets through the smoke and emerges safely through the other side. He's able to move all the way up to 17th after the caution. 16 laps left. Jimmy Johnson pits. He's going to take 4 tires and fall a little farther back behind Tony Stewart, who only took 2. 3 laps left. Kevin Harvick clips Scott Riggs. Riggs is headed to the concrete. And that'll cause a green-white checkered flag. Kenseth winds up finishing 12th on the final lap. Tony Stewart with the lead. As Kenseth spins out into the grass, and Stewart able to hold off Jimmy Johnson to win the Dickies 500. And Tony Stewart, again, ineligible to repeat as champion. He didn't qualify for the chase, but he is a winner yet again. As for the chase for the Nextel Cup, Jimmy Johnson now with a 17-point lead on Matt Kenseth, who falls to second place. Dale Jr. with the trouble, 78 points back.
Still to come on SportsCenter, we'll have a lot more on the upset by the Dolphins over the Bears, whose undefeated season is over. And then coming up tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, Seahawks and Raiders. It is Monday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern.
I have to know I can trust you.
So you want me to be half monk, half hitman?
I knew it was too early to promote you.
It doesn't bother you killing those people?
Well, I wouldn't be very good at my job if it did.
Casino Royale, rated PG-13.
Beneath the placid exterior lies a cauldron of activity inside the Wendy's new jalapeno cheddar double melt. Shown here, we see its many layers, each serving an important function. Fresh ground beef patties insulate the center, keeping it warm. A slice of pepper jack melts beneath bacon, and deep at the burger's core, jalapenos explode in a river of molten cheese. and can only stand in awe of this miraculous way to do what tastes right.
Introducing the official ESPN College Game Day Apparel Collection, made exclusively for the kind of fans that don't need a schedule to know who their team is playing on Saturday. So show your colors and pledge allegiance to your team. Game day and every day with official ESPN College Game Day Apparel. Pick them up at Finish Line, Hibbett Sports, college bookstores, and fan shops nationwide. And at ESPNshop.com. The ESPN College Game Day Apparel Collection. Every game matters.
This hurts more than shopping for auto insurance.
Suck it up, champ. Esurance takes the pain out of it.
What? I need collision coverage now.
With some of the fastest quotes on the web, Esurance makes it easy to save on auto insurance.
That's why thousands of drivers switch to Esurance every week.
Esurance has got you covered in every season.
Quote by
Touchdown! If you're on the go, you've got to have Esurance.
Get your fast, free auto insurance quote. Visit Esurance.com today.
When the IRS levied my business and personal accounts, I didn't know where to turn. My CPA recommended American Tax Relief.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call American Tax Relief for a free consultation.
Look, the IRS is offering you a one-time opportunity to settle your debt. This is your 1 second chance. Use it well.
I thought I was going to lose my business, but American Tax Relief got me a second chance.
Call 1-800-TAX-HELP for your free consultation.
It was the first time in NFL history that an undefeated team with at least 7 wins lost to a team with no more than 1 win entering the game, and the Dolphins upsetting the Bears and ending that perfect season. George Smith now with more on the upset special.
After beating their opponents by an average of 30 points in their first 4 home games, the Bears finally found a formidable opponent, themselves. Rex Grossman was responsible for 4 turnovers, including 3 interceptions, as the Bears gave away their undefeated season.
If it doesn't hurt, how important is winning, so it hurts bad. And, we're 7-1. It hurts. We're going to think about it for a couple of days and watch the tape and get better, and then put everything in perspective of what's out there for us to go get.
Our football team didn't play well. Starting with the coaches and going all the way down. Again, Rex was a part of that, but we had a lot of things that went wrong today.
You never think that you're going to have 6 turnovers, and the way that we had them was it's terrible. And if we play like that against a good team, especially a good defense like Miami, it's going to be hard to get victories.
It was definitely hard for us to get anything going, established, especially when we would have a drive going, and then all of a sudden, we'd have a turnover, and that would just kind of stop our momentum.
The Dolphins' 3 offensive touchdowns matched the total number the Bears had given up in their first 4 home games. But it was the Bears' turnovers that put Miami in position. In those 3 scoring drives, the Miami offense totaled just 42 yards. Adewale Ogunleye said even though the Bears managed to beat Arizona despite turnovers, when you have 6 of them, you have no business winning. In Chicago, George Smith, ESPN.
Browns and the Chargers, a lot of yapping pregame for this non-rivalry game. You know what looks better than the powder blue Charger uniforms?
What's that?
Number 21 in the powder blue uniforms. LaDainian Tomlinson, 41 yards. He admitted he had a little bit of a grudge against the Browns for passing him over back in the draft, and well, apparently this was his opportunity to make them pay. LT, 172 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns, 355 yards rushing over his last 2 games.
Lance Armstrong traded in his bike for some running shoes today, running the New York City Marathon. Nearing the finish line is Brazilian Marilson Gomes dos Santos. He's the first Brazilian to win this, 2 hours, 9 minutes, 58 seconds. The defending champ on the women's side, Jelena Prokopchika, she finished in 2:25.05. Each winner receives $130,000. And Armstrong, here he comes. He said he wanted to finish in under 3 hours. He finished in 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 36 seconds. That's impressive. It's worth noting that it was a Kenyan 2:3.45 finish.
And yet there's something rewarding about seeing an elite athlete actually look really, really tired at the end.
That is pretty good, yeah. But if you ran 26.2 in under 3 hours?
Well, I'd be dead. That's what I'd be. I'm not Lance Armstrong. College football is coming up next. Southern Miss and Memphis next on ESPN. Don't forget your complete Week 9 NFL coverage on SportsCenter later tonight.
Thanks for watching. He's Matt. I'm Michelle.
We'll see you.